Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this in-depth exploration of World War I, often referred to as the Great War. Over the next several hours, we will delve into the causes, key events, and far-reaching consequences of this global conflict that reshaped the course of history. World War I, which lasted from 1914 to 1918, was one of the most significant and devastating conflicts of the 20th century. It involved the great powers of the world and left an indelible mark on the political, social, and cultural landscape of the time. Our story begins in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when Europe was divided into powerful and often hostile nations. Competition for colonial territories, arms race, and complex alliances created a powder keg waiting to explode. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary on June 28, 1914, in Sarajevo, by a Serbian nationalist ignited the spark that would lead to a global conflagration. Archduke Franz Ferdinand quoted, "I am going to Bosnia. I know I am going to visit a risky country, but I am not in the habit of avoiding risky enterprises." In the weeks that followed the assassination, a web of alliances was triggered. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, and the domino effect began. Russia mobilized to support Serbia, Germany declared war on Russia and France, and soon the conflict spread across Europe. By August 1914, Europe was plunged into a full-scale war, with the Central Powers, led by Germany and Austria-Hungary, pitted against the Allied powers, including France, Russia, and later, the United Kingdom. The early months of World War I were marked by rapid advances and brutal clashes on the Western Front. However, as the war progressed, a new form of warfare emerged: trench warfare. Soldiers on both sides dug intricate networks of trenches, creating a deadly no-man's land between them. The conditions in the trenches were horrendous, with soldiers enduring mud, rats, and constant shelling. A diary found of a soldier at war: "The trenches are a living nightmare. We are constantly wet, cold, and the rats are relentless. Every day feels like an eternity." One of the bloodiest battles of the war was the Battle of the Somme, which took place in 1916. It saw a devastating loss of life on both sides, with little territorial gain. The battle illustrated the grim reality of World War I, where advances were measured in yards, and the cost in human lives was staggering. While the battles raged on the front lines, the war also had a profound impact on the home front. World War I marked the advent of total war, where entire societies were mobilized for the war effort. Women played a crucial role in the workforce, taking on jobs traditionally reserved for men. They worked in factories, hospitals, and offices, contributing significantly to the war effort. Suffragette quoted, "If we can do the work of men, we can surely vote like them." Women have proven their worth in every field during this war. Governments used propaganda to boost morale and promote nationalism. Posters, films, and speeches encouraged citizens to support the war and make sacrifices for the nation. Food rationing and war bond drives became common, and dissent was often suppressed in the name of patriotism. The United States initially remained neutral in the conflict, with President Woodrow Wilson advocating for a policy of non-intervention. Woodrow Wilson stated, "The world must be made safe for democracy. We have no selfish ends to serve." However, the sinking of the British passenger ship Lusitania by a German submarine in 1915, with many American civilians on board, strained U.S.-German relations. Narrator, in 1917, Germany's resumption of unrestricted submarine warfare and the interception of the Zimmermann telegram, in which Germany sought a military alliance with Mexico against the United States, pushed the U.S. into the war. Arthur Zimmermann pursued relations with Mexico, saying, "We propose that Mexico should join us in a war against the United States. We shall make peace together, and in general, make a good understanding." Narrator, the entry of the United States into World War I in April 1917 brought FRESH troops and resources to the Allied powers, tipping the balance in their favor. The American Expeditionary Forces, led by General John J. Pershing, played a crucial role in the later stages of the war. By 1918, the Central Powers were exhausted, and the war had taken an immense toll on all sides. The armistice that ended World War I was signed on November 11, 1918. The armistice marked the end of fighting but left many issues unresolved. Armistice terms quoted: cease all hostilities on land, sea, and in the air. Surrender all submarines and most warships. Withdraw troops from occupied territories. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in June 1919, formally ended the war and imposed harsh penalties on Germany, including territorial losses, disarmament, and financial reparations. The treaty's terms sowed the seeds of resentment and economic hardship in Germany, contributing to the conditions that would lead to World War II. World War I left a profound legacy that reverberated throughout the 20th century and beyond. The war memorials erected in its aftermath stand as reminders of the sacrifice and loss. The war reshaped the map of Europe, led to the dissolution of empires, and redrew borders. It also saw the emergence of new nations, including Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia. War poet famous line: "In Flanders fields, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row." In an attempt to prevent future conflicts, the League of Nations was established as a precursor to the United Nations. However, it faced challenges in maintaining peace and preventing aggression. World War I also had a profound cultural impact, influencing art, literature, and music. It introduced a sense of disillusionment and shattered the optimism of the pre-war era. T.S. Eliot said April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. Conclusion. World War I was a watershed moment in history, a conflict that reshaped nations, societies, and the world order. Its consequences, both immediate and long-term, continue to shape the world we live in today. As we reflect on the Great War, we remember the millions who served and the countless lives lost. World War I serves as a reminder of the importance of diplomacy, cooperation, and the pursuit of peace in an increasingly interconnected world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of World War I. We hope this exploration has shed light on the complexities, tragedies, and enduring lessons of this pivotal moment in human history. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you.